everybody.
Hello.
Happy Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
I know that we missed our Wednesday. Normally we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and we had a lot going on yesterday.
Welcome to our Selling to Serve series.
Selling to serve.
We're on the fifth step, yeah?
Yes, the fifth step is becoming a confident closer.
Asking for the order.
Yes, because okay, you build all this rapport, you ask all these questions, you find the need, you link the need to your product or service, you go in for the pitch, you talk about all the things that you're going to do to help the client, and then what?
You fluff them up.
You fluff them up, you build value,
and then you close.
Well, the problem is
if you don't close,
then
what happens?
You go somewhere else.
You fluffed them up for the next guy.
You're just a fluffer.
And we've done this. I've done this.
We've done this.
We get them all ready and warm.
Riled up and super excited.
You almost get caught up in the excitement of the conversation, and then you forget to close. You forget to ask. So does this interest you? Is this something you would be interested in? Yeah.
Are you ready to get started today?
Is it your intentions to do business with us?
Yeah. Or if I can solve X, Y, and Z, and then we can get your life to, having more prosperity and a better relationship and all the different things.
Just suppose we were able to solve all of the fear around sales. You would consider enrolling in our 3-day business training coming up in October, the 25th through the 27th.
Yeah, just suppose
wouldn't
you could stand up on stage and feel totally aligned and totally congruent, and you felt like you could speak your truth with confidence and volition. Just suppose.
Just suppose.
Yes. Because here's the thing, when we've done this before, I've done it on a sales call. We've also done it in a training. We would have like a weekend event, and then we didn't go in for the close, and we built all this value, but you're actually not serving your clients if you don't walk them across the finish line.
And growth, personal growth, is a journey. So
yes.
you have to stay on that path, right? It's a matter of keeping our clients on that and not saying, okay, cool, I'm finished. You're not finished.
Yeah.
We're never finished, right? That's why so many people, after they get out of school, whether it's high school, college, whatever, they get done, they're like, oh, I'm done learning. There's so many people that haven't touched a book since school. I ask people all the time, when's the last time you touched a book? When's the last time you read a book cover to cover? Some people are like 5 years, 10 years. Like, what? Really? That's insane.
It's a lifelong journey.
It's a lifelong journey. So it's our duty, it's our job to get them to the next tier. Because what they're going to do is they should, if you really want to grow, you're going to go back in your life, you're going to take massive action, you're going to get a bunch of failure, which is feedback, and then you're going to say, wow, cool, I need some more tools, I need some more skill set. So then you're going to do that. And that's going to get you to the next level. Once you do that, it's going to be feedback for, cool, what's happening next?
The problem is that a lot of people let their own limiting beliefs around being too pushy, being too salesy, not wanting to bother anybody, not wanting to turn them off. And a lot of times money blocks come up around the sales process for you as the salesperson, also for the person, because usually when somebody's making a commitment to spend money on themselves or invest in something they've never invested before, a lot of people have money blocks. And so their limitations, their belief systems around money and what they should spend money on, or maybe they got burned in the past, or all those things come up to the surface during that time. And so it's your job as a salesperson, the enroller, we call it the coach, is to lean into those and ask more questions if those objections come up around the close.
Yep.
Because
to consult through them.
Yes.
Right?
You're a problem solver.
And by the way, 50% of the people in a room or 50% of people on a phone call or in a webinar probably aren't going to like what you're pitching.
Yeah. And it's okay.
Guess what?
It's not for everybody.
Oh, well.
Next.
Tough stuff. Who cares?
And it's okay, because not everybody's a client, and know that you're sifting through the no's, and truly know this: if there is truly a need and that you can bring value to their life, then it's your job to do whatever it takes in order to help them make the right decision.
So our job is to go out there and get as many no's as quickly as possible without wasting a lot of time. Because the more no's you get, guess what? You're right around the corner from a yes. So go get some no's.
It's a numbers game.
Straight up numbers game.
It's definitely a numbers game, especially when you're doing, I mean, if you have very specific targeted marketing and you're converting specific type of people, you're going to have a higher percentage of closing ratio if you're dialed in with your process. And if you want to get dialed into the process, then come to our 3-day business training, because we'll give you a great process. So know this, if you're actually going into very cold territory and you're doing networking, you're going to be doing this process twice, which is pre-qualifying the client before you actually even step into the sales situation. Because a lot of people just aren't a good fit. They're not a buyer. And a lot of people spend a lot of energy and time with people that aren't the right fit right off the get-go, because they don't ask those questions in front.
So you almost have to do a mini 5-step sales process for a prospect, right? Are they a prospect? And are they a prospect that goes to a lead? And then from a lead, really, are they a client or contact? So it's almost like when you meet someone for the first time, you're going to do a little mini 5-step sales process. You're going to get them into the point where they're like, are they even interested enough to be in my database? Are they interested enough to warrant 4 or 5 follow-up calls? And if they're not, then they won't make it past that. If they are, then it's the next 5-step sales process to get them on a call, to get them on a strategy call, to get them on a coaching call, or to meet with them and do it and have an appointment that you can actually close at. And of course, it's going to take follow-up. It's going to be a lot of follow-up calls. You got to build a lot of rapport. If they absolutely need it, there's a massive need there, and you know, as the client, as the consultant, you can serve that and you can really solve their need, their problem, then it's your duty to constantly keep following up with them until you can get a yes, right? And it's all about timing. We've had people like, I've had it's sales cycles. The better you get at this, the shorter your sales cycle will be. We've had people where, 2 years later, they come back.
They come back around.
I got my life together. I'm ready to be a coach.
Yeah.
Or they said, hey, I'm ready to take the next step. Can I meet with you guys for a coaching appointment? Cool.
Yeah, but you'll never know until you actually go into further close, because you could have a long-term relationship with this client and build all this value, and it never goes anywhere. And that's really sad, because you're truly not helping them, because you know that your product or service has the solution for that client. So it is your responsibility to do whatever it takes to close the client.
And I've had a lot of people in the past when in our real estate company, you get really good at following up. And I'll tell you one thing that probably 80%, probably I'd go as far as 90% of salespeople that really struggle with sales and objections, and they just get really emotional about taking a no, right? They take it personal.
Yeah.
Most people suck at following up.
Yeah.
They suck at following up. And then they wonder why they're not making any sales.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you're not following up, then you're not going to be able to, because a lot of times it's timing. I don't know how many times. What is the golden rule of follow-up? Like 8?
It could, they say after the 7th or 8th time touch point that you're going to be able to build enough rapport for them to do business. It could be as much as 9, 10 even now.
Yeah.
Because we've got Facebook, we've got social media, we've got email, text, and we've got phone calls. So it's even more complicated as far as what is real rapport versus what's just a quick touch point. An email doesn't really count so much, when you're trying to close someone. It really is a phone call. You can leave voicemails all day, but if you don't get anyone on the phone, you're not going to close.
Another thing to keep in mind is, the energetics when you're coming into the close, because if you yourself is having all this anxiety and you're like having your internal dialogue going off, like, oh my God, they're not going to be a buyer. They're not going to be a buyer. They're going to say no, they're going to reject me and all these different things, then you're going to project that out into the transaction.
Yep.
I used to do that all the time because I was super nervous. I had all this imposter syndrome, and I also had money blocks, and I would also project onto the clients, oh, they're not going to have money. They're not going to take the time off. They're not going to see the value in it. And so 9 times out of the 10, I would sabotage the opportunity, and I was actually hurting the client, because you limit your clients with your limiting beliefs. So clear out those things.
Yep.
And if you can't do it yourself, then come work with us, because we can help you do that.
At the very least, attend our training. Look, businesses are built based on your mindset. Your business is built based on what's going on inside. If you have a solid mindset, your business is going to be solid. And at one point you're going to grow, and there's going to be maybe some new growing pains where you're going to have to structure and do processes and systems. But it's so important to get out there and take massive action and take some of that feedback so you can grow.
Yeah, I had a client. Well, it didn't turn out to be a client because I had limiting beliefs around their capability.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. And I had limiting beliefs around how much money, because I was going into the relationship projecting my old money paradigm on that client. And they said they didn't have the money, and I didn't lean into the conversation, and I backed off the close because my fear of rejection or fear of being too salesy or pushy got in the way of it. And guess what happened? That client actually went and enrolled with a competitor, and unfortunately the competitor wasn't as ecological, and it didn't turn out to be a good fit. When I truly know, and everybody has a different way of doing business, it just wasn't a truly good fit for this client. And so it was on me. I really felt bad about that because they were just giving me their money limiting beliefs, and the money limiting beliefs just comes up, and they don't know this stuff. And people don't know that they don't know that their limiting beliefs are going to come up. And so it's my job, and it's your job as a sales professional, to not take those things personally, to move through them, to ask more questions, lean into it. So what's going on there? Like, what do you mean you don't have the money? Is it something that, you want some coaching around? Is it all right if I ask some more questions so I could create a solution in a win-win situation? You want to ask more questions because then you'll get more data, and then you'll have the capability to either build more value, because people usually have the money. They just haven't found the value in what you want them to do yet. So maybe go back and build more value, which is step 3. Or maybe you need to figure out like a payment plan situation. I mean, depending upon the product or service you have, there's always ways of working around finances if you're willing to work with the people.
Yep. Getting them to the close. That's definitely, it's stretching the client, because look, most of us have limiting beliefs about money, and money is, like we said this earlier, you mentioned this, is that's where the behavior comes out.
Yeah.
The real behavior comes out when you start talking about, it's like, no, I can't do it. Well, exactly. Where's your business at? Right. And here's the thing. I was recently talking to someone about, they need to make a certain amount of money every month, and they are at anywhere between 20 to 15% of what they need to make on a monthly basis. And it's like, where's your mindset when you're, as far as taking, basically this person, he said, I'm not talking to the right people.
Yeah.
And I said, so that's a great story you keep telling yourself.
Yeah.
You keep telling yourself that story. I said, when you quit that and cut that BS out, I said, then you could start writing a new story and writing the book, the real book, the book of sales, the book of helping people.
Yeah. So stop telling yourself a story, and stop telling stories about your clients that may not be true, because you're limiting your clients with your limiting beliefs.
If there's a crappy story you're telling yourself,
yeah,
what do you want instead of that crappy story?
So one of the mind hacks that we teach in the training is presupposing the sale. It's called assuming the sale.
Assuming the sale.
What you want to do when you're going in for the close, like I literally used to rehearse this before I would do my sales calls or go one-on-one. I would imagine in my mind, I would visually see, hear, feel, taste, smell, all the range of senses of the person being excited, the person having the money, the person like walking away with the goodie bag of the practitioner training with the binder and everything. I would imagine even days later calling them back and, setting up the first coaching call, and like them having this tremendous, I would even imagine their entire future actually graduating from the training. I would have that whole movie go into the future of that training. And by doing that, it actually wired and fired all of the neurology in the body, and it primed my body for success. It presupposed, and I believe from a quantum level, it actually created a probability wave to create that same scenario when we went into the sales call.
You mean you thought about it and then it happened out there?
Absolutely.
That's bizarre.
Don't you think that happens all the time?
So you can think about something, thought.
Yeah.
You can take something from nothing,
yeah,
and make it something extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Wow.
This is modern magic, folks.
That is cool stuff.
Yeah. Who says spirituality isn't in sales?
Yep, that's true.
Because do you realize the sales in the transaction, the transaction of them signing on the dotted line to invest in themselves, it is a symbol, folks. Like our unconscious mind is highly symbolic, and we talk more in detail of this in the training, but the symbolism of them investing their time and energy, which is money, it's just a product of time and energy, investing in themselves, it's making a commitment to change and solve this problem. And that's why it's a spiritual act, because you are the facilitator of this transmutation. It's alchemy.
Yep, it is alchemy. And if you've built enough value, then the problem needs to be solved or will get solved. If you haven't built enough value, then maybe the problem hasn't been defined.
Yeah.
So just go back and define another problem.
No big deal. By the way, objections are good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2. Sometimes you got to go back and forth between all 5 steps.
Yeah. Objections just means you're on the path. You know, sometimes people are just want them done and they're ready to go and they have the timing and the money and everything you said was crystal clear and they all connected with everything and it all like that. But a lot of times the sales process, you got to dig in and you start asking questions. And when they have those objections, you want to pretend like they're hilarious. You're like, really?
Wait,
that's the only reason why you don't want to buy?
That's the only reason
like, I don't get it.
To enroll? Is
like,
that all?
You want to put your curiosity hat on?
How are they blocking themselves from going out and creating abundance?
Like be puzzled and curious and not take it personally because it's just behavior acting out.
It's just behavior.
I mean, if anything about NLP, like this is our type of mindset and attitude.
Yes.
It's complete curiosity.
Trail of techniques. And by the way, if you're
bizarre behavior. Humans are bizarre.
If you've hit a level of success and you're like, you make X, Y, Z, and you're like, I'm fairly successful, and you can look in the mirror and you feel good about your confidence, you feel good about your sales. What is going to get you to the next level? That's the thing that we help people break through, is because that thinking that got you where you are now is not going to double that income. In fact, there's pretty much no way to double your income and maintain the same amount of thinking.
No,
it's impossible, because it's like it's exactly that. The skill set, the mindset, the psychology of winning has to even amplify at a greater level for you to break that threshold of increasing your revenue. So or job or skill set or whatever it is, you're going to hit a new ceiling. So that you got to stretch beyond that comfort zone. So many people forget that. It's like, well, then they get comfortable, and that's why people will make the same amount of money year after year after year over a 5 to 8 year period.
It's unconscious.
It's unconscious. They're like, well, I'm comfortable making, $70,000 a year. Cool. Yeah. That's great. And that may be perfect for them. If they want to take it to another level though, and really double their income, there's got to be a whole nother set of investment into skill set, right? Skill set's huge.
And another thing I want to talk about, I was talking to a friend of mine. We were having a conversation about sales and like closing. Some people, and this is another thing we talk about in the training, the psychology behind closing and different types of people. Some people will get turned off if you hard close them. And then there's some people that will get turned off if you don't.
Right.
Because they won't respect you. And so it's like really asking questions and gauging the behavior based upon their response and keywords and knowing what type of close you want to go in for.
How have they done it in the past?
Yeah. And it's truly based upon that person, because their past experiences, if they have a visceral reaction around sales, there may be more metaphors involved, which are tremendous for closing and helping unravel objections. And we teach these in the training of storytelling. Some of the greatest salespeople, speakers from stage, one-on-one salespeople, they're storytellers. In fact, they tell stories that will install letting go of the limitations around all the typical objections that they know that will come up.
To presuppose a sale or presuppose success.
So they already start unraveling the objections before they even have the sales conversation.
Yep.
That's the art of sales.
That is the art of sales.
Yeah, it is. So cool.
So you want to do a big picture flyby? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
So step 1, build rapport.
Yes.
Right? However you build
rapport. The most important part.
And if you don't know how to build rapport, which is tough. Sometimes it's tough to get into rapport with people, and you're using a lot of different techniques in order to get into rapport. Language, body language, eyes, posture, gesture, lots of different things.
Yeah.
Tonality is huge for telephone. Number 2
is what? Ask questions.
So you're asking questions to build rapport. So really 1 and 2 is kind of simultaneous. So you're getting rapport, you're asking questions. Step 3
is find the need, or the pain point, or the problem.
So you're finding this problem, you're finding this pain. If there's no need, find another need. Keep asking questions until you find the need.
Yeah.
Step 4.
And you may want to dig into it a little, like
Yeah, once you find it, so they feel it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
feel it.
Sometimes
remember, people are away from motivated,
and we have a problem. We want to like push it down and put it in the past.
They want to put it under the rug.
We want to get rid of it. And
we don't want to
act like we don't have it.
No, so you want to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and show it to them.
Which is also known as
by
denial.
the way, this is your responsibility as a salesperson because it's actually doing it with Ecology. And by the way, if you don't find the need, what do? You don't
sell them.
You walk away.
Because there's nothing to sell them.
It's a waste of time. And that's why people are labeled too salesy, because they try to sell a need that doesn't exist.
Yeah, we're not, that's like the Madison Avenue days of like the 1970s or 80s.
Yeah. The sleazy salespeople.
Yeah, we're not willing to do that.
And NLP, I mean, it's gotten a bad rep for manipulation. Well, yes, it could be used to manipulate at this point. And we don't believe in that. And if we find out that any of our graduates are using NLP without Ecology, we will take away your ability to use NLP, at least the ones that are certified.
Yes.
If we don't agree with it, we'll take you out.
From our training and our school and the way Yager training does it, it's the art of sophisticated persuasion.
Yes.
That's what sales is.
And a win-win-win.
And if someone's so in their problem and they're so trapped in their problem issue, their trance, we call it, then you have to use a little persuasion to get them up and out of that.
Yeah.
And once you get them up out of it, they can actually see, wow, there's all these solutions and opportunities they didn't see. So if it takes a little bit of persuasion, if it takes a little bit of
adjustment,
of just unraveling the issue and making them feel a little bit of pain to realize I need to get out of this pain, then by all means,
or
take action.
Persuasion in the sense of communicating in the way that they like to be communicated, because NLP allows you to figure out their buying strategy or decision-making strategy that you can reuse and feed back to them so they can make a quicker and more sound decision. Yeah, we agree with that.
And some people are so stuck in the problem, they actually don't even know what they want.
Exactly.
Actually, they're like, I'm looking for something, but I'm lost and I have no idea what I'm looking for. So if you're lost, how do you know when you find it?
Yeah.
So it's actually helping someone get down specific enough to what they actually are looking for. And by giving somebody, a client or a prospect options, it gives them the ability to truly uncover what the real problem is to help them solve it. Because sometimes clients don't even know the problem because it's unconscious. We're not aware of it.
And when we say win, 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 we mean win for the client first and foremost.
Win for the consultant.
Win for us as the consultant, and then win for the planet. And you want to think about the ecology of the client and their history and their moving forward into the future and all their family members and everything else. I mean, you're really doing life-changing work in the sales process. So we want to consider all those things. And if you have all of those things in consideration, then you know wholeheartedly, congruently, that you can do whatever it takes to help them make a decision.
Where did I leave off? Step 4?
Yeah.
Link the need.
Link the need.
Link the need back to the service or product. So link the need of the client, the prospect, back to your service.
Which you take the pain point and you put it into the pitch.
And you say, we can do this, this, and this.
Yeah, to solve all these problems. And then you future pace them to what they want to have.
Just suppose
the outcome, the goal.
Just suppose you had confidence when it came to closing. Just suppose you created a 50% closing ratio. You raised your closing ratio to 50%. It means you met with 10 people, you closed 5. What would that look like for your business?
Yeah.
What would that look like for your team, for your company, for your family? How does that feel?
Yeah. And then
step 5,
you go in for the close.
Close. Ask for the order.
Ask for the order. Get them to sign on the dotted line.
Ask for money.
Ask for money.
Is it okay if you pay me?
And they are not investing in you. They're investing themselves. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. They're investing in themselves, not you, because you're going to serve them in a way with your product or service. Yeah.
All that chatter in the mind.
We'll talk more about that at the training.
Quiet the mind.
Yes, we will. Help that let go.
You've overcome the chatter.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing more empowering to take money.
Too many mind.
At the transition of the close and witnessing and being able to facilitate somebody investing in themselves and knowing that I'm going to bring total value to that person's life and me getting paid for it. I fucking love that. Yeah, so I said it.
The Selling to Serve series, confident at closing. So
yes,
if you're not confident at closing, if you are really struggling to maybe make the amount of money you want to make, or maybe you have a little self-worth, little doubt there, maybe some beliefs that aren't serving you anymore, I invite you to take a look at our 3-day business training. If you haven't seen it online at our website, yagertraining.com. Check it out. 3-day business training.
And if you log in now, we're having a super, super amazing special right now. It's marked down from $9.95 to $195.
$195.
Yes.
That's a
It's
huge
incredibly
discount.
powerful training that will put tons and tons of business into your bank account.
Yeah.
It's incredible wisdom.
We had a
We
client.
give you a binder of information that you can take back and infuse into your life.
I had a client that she went through the training. She increased her sales, her closing rate. She was closing like maybe 10 or 15%. Immediately after the training, within 60 days, she increased her closing ratio up to 45%, which is, still has room to grow. But I mean, she increased her revenue. She started bringing in $4,000 a month in revenue, which she wasn't before the training, just because she started applying these little things and realizing that it's okay to ask for money. It's okay to make money. Like, just little changes make a huge difference.
The congruency.
That's what it's about. So many people, we have this internal conflict and this fight with money because of how we were raised, or relationships, or mom and dad, or
money paradigm,
growing up poor, growing up rich. We have these problems, these battles inside unconsciously with money. And it's okay. We don't have to beat ourselves up about it. It's just energy. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really cool to see someone come through the training and realize, yeah, you know what? It's okay to be prosperous. It's okay to be abundant. And by the way, when we say abundance and wealth, it's not just money. It's not just money. It's time freedom. It's being able to give back to clients and get reviews and testimonials, because that feels good. I think what makes us feel better is when we get somebody who comes through our training, they have an amazing story to share, and either tell a review or give us a review on a video, or they just call us up and say, you guys have no idea I'm about to tell you this story. And we love that. That's so much fun to hear a story that they transformed their life just because of some simple information that they took back into their business and their life, their relationship, and they applied it.
We talked about in Society last night we were talking about sales and the power of sales and entrepreneurship. And to us, if you go into business for yourself, I don't know what the statistic is, like 81% of coaches go out of business in the first 3 years from either burnout, quitting, or running out of money.
And 51% of small businesses pretty much are out of business. They close down within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And if you've read the EMyth, you'll understand that at a greater level.
And we believe it's because of sales. One of the major reasons is sales. It's money blocks, sales, not understanding sales, not knowing how to do it, the fear of rejection, the fear of the imposter syndrome, the fear of going in for the close, and then not having good languaging around your message, and then the fear of getting up in front of pitching people and telling people what you do, and getting up in front of an audience and, doing a presentation. Because in order to be successful, you have to be able to inspire, to enroll people into your ideas. And if you have anxiety around that, it's blocking you from being successful. And so that's what our training does. It teaches you all of those things. It teaches you how to let go of these money blocks, how to get in control of your mindset to be successful and stay motivated, how to get into a peak performance state when you get in front of the audience, how to clarify your message, and also how to walk people through a very simple 5-step sales process to where then you can take them right through the close. They're happy. The people that you work with are the right people to where you're not drained in your energy. It's a good fit. You get paid your worth. It's incredible.
So many people go into business. They think, I need this. I got to have a location. I got to have an office. I've got to have a website up. I got to do all these things. You know what? We've done so many ventures where we never even got any of that started until we made sales, because sales is your proof of concept. Making sales is figuring out, do we even have something to offer? So many people do they do the direct opposite of what they should do. They go borrow a bunch of money because, I don't know, somebody told them to.
It's one of those
you need
memes.
capital.
It's a meme.
You gotta get capital. Yes, you do for certain businesses,
depending upon what it is.
If it does depend. That's another side topic. But there's a lot of people that go out and get into debt, get this $20,000 website up and running, and they haven't even tested if what they're about to offer the public actually works. Right? Sell first. Gary Keller talks about this with Keller Williams. He says, lead with revenue.
Yeah.
Like, we've built both of our businesses that we have built to 6 figures and beyond. We're going to hit huge numbers next year because we're leading with revenue.
Yeah.
Right. We're not throwing money at things and then hoping that, I hope this stuff sticks on the wall. Like, it's lead with revenue. That is so important. And so many people go get into debt, and then they're burned out in a year, and they're like, I'm going to go back and get my job at the corporate world. I don't have a life anymore, and I just want that life back, where I can think and have time with my family. And so that's that's really, it's such an up and down cycle. And we dread that. We don't want to see people come through that, especially coaches, because there needs to be more.
Oh my gosh.
There needs to be more coaches in the world right now because it's such a fast growing industry. There needs to be quality, talented coaches, skill set driven coaches.
And the ones that are going to charge the rates that they will, that the upper echelon percentage that are actually charging $10,000 to $11,000 or $20,000 to $50,000
or more
packages. The difference is, of course, there's marketing and sales. Because at the end of the day, you can dump all this money into marketing, but if you don't know how to close somebody, it's going to waste all your money.
And if you're a new coach, there's plenty of clients and prospects out there at the level of where you're at. By the way, when you grow your skill set, all of a sudden you can charge more. You grow your skill set, you get better, you get feedback, you incorporate the feedback, you become a better coach.
And we proved this whole thing about marketing. Like, we came to Austin and we just hit the ground running with networking, and we built over a 6-figure business
in 10 months.
10 months.
Less than 10 months. We did 6 figures.
No Facebook, nothing.
We had a crappy website.
Yeah.
Right? We had crappy website.
Just in the power of NLP and sales.
Network marketing. 6-figure business.
Networking.
Less than 10 minutes. Just networking.
Doing one-on-ones.
Meeting people face-to-face.
Calls.
One-to-one appointments.
And whenever we had a chance, we'd do a guest speak.
Calls,
you can build your business
calls.
that way.
So you absolutely can.
And then you figure out what your niche is, because then you work with all these different people and you really figure out who you want to work with and who you don't.
And half the time we ran out of business cards.
Yeah.
So it was even worse. But we got their numbers. And by the way, if you're going to go networking, get the clients, get the person you met, get their number.
They won't call you back unless you
Nobody follows up at networking events. So you might as well follow up with them because they won't call you. Don't count on it.
Yeah.
Everybody gives.
Don't negate the power of the individual in the sales and the speaking capability, like the old school way. I mean,
it's tried and true
powerful.
For a reason.
Yeah, it works.
We're not saying that you don't need a website. What we're saying is you don't need to invest that much money if you don't have it. If you don't have it, don't invest it.
In the beginning. And
go make sales.
When you are to a position where you're selling, and then you can scale.
You can scale. Make the sales first. Make a sale. Take the money. Save some. Make another sale. Save it. Then invest it in the business. Then invest in a website. Then invest it in some advertising. Once you figure out your niche. By the way, we went out and we just had to sell because we didn't know who we wanted to work with. We, like, our clients, we were like this. We're like
everybody.
Wait. You're a human?
You breathe?
You breathe?
Your heart beats?
We'll work with you. Come on down. Let's do it.
Oh, that was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare. But you learn. That's the whole point, is you get feedback. So
yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, so Bibbo, 3-day business training. If you're interested in sales communication, check out our website, yagertraining.com. It's October 25th through the 27th. It's a kind of a half day on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm
putting the link up.
Yeah, we'll put the link down here in the comments. And it is an amazing training if you're looking to overcome challenges around sales, or if you've just found a comfort zone in your business and you're like, you know what, I could really use a kind of a new way of looking at how to communicate with my team or be a better leader. All of those things. So we're going to copy paste this link here.
Because it's a universal human language. I mean, whether you're in a sales position in the corporate world or you're an entrepreneur, it's the language of humans. And you're selling your spouse, you're selling your kids, you're selling people your ideas to get on the same page with you. And it's, once you learn that process, you can map it over to any context to get success.
If you're not selling, you're barely maybe just surviving, and it's time to thrive. So the more you step into this, extroverted type role and just be comfortable with that and be okay with taking a little bit of rejection. Be okay with, hey, somebody's going to say no. There was a sales guy a long time ago. He used to door knock. He'd tell me, he's like, I take note of all the no's. I'd go to the next house and I'd be like, cool, I got another no. And he got another no. He said, by about the 28th, 29th no, he said, I'm about to get a yes. It was an interesting way of looking at reframing a negative and turning it into a positive. He actually tracked his no's and knew that about every 30, 31, 28, he'd get a yes, which is kind of cool when you think about it. Most people don't track their no's.
Yeah.
So, however you can do it to get more yeses, it's powerful stuff.
And if anyone from this webinar, or not webinar, but Facebook Live. Or when it goes up on YouTube, enrolls, then put in the comments where you heard about us, and then we'll also gift you an hour coaching with Brandon and I.
Yeah, so the 3-day business training, it's a $995 value. It's a $195 special right now. It's next month, October. the 25th, 26th, 27th. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It starts Friday at 1 p.m. We'll start. So if you're interested,
our coaching is
reach
a deep
out to
dive
us,
of
put some
anything
comments.
that's anything that's preventing you of being successful.
And
so
if you got some
whatever you wanna
value
work
out of
on.
this, or you're watching the replay, put a comment in there like, hey, this totally makes sense. Or I need to increase my sales, and this is the way I do it with communication. And just put like thumbs up or a comment about your communication is.
Or what you need help with, because we're going to continue to do series about sales and different things. And we want to know how we can serve and help you.
Selling is fun.
Yes.
You should love it. It's not dirty and evil. It is absolutely fun when you can help sell and serve.
And transformational.
And you cannot serve without
spiritual.
selling, and you cannot sell without serving.
Yes. So get on the ship. Get on the ship with us, because it is serving and it is spirituality.
For everyone watching, thank you. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we will see you soon.
We will see you soon. Thank you. Love
Thanks,
you all.
guys. See you
Bye-bye.
guys.